Hi there. Welcome back to Sunday Stitch. For this Sunday, I thought I'd show a little technique that I often use to take care of my ends as I knit so that I don't have to go back and use a tapestry needle and sew them in later. And it's really like tacking them in or trapping them because you make use of the horizontal bars that form in between knit stitches every time you knit a stitch and you pull over from the one that you just made to the one that you're going to make. Of course, you are also making the horizontal bar that runs between them. Once more. And this technique makes use of that horizontal bar to trap in your ends. If you've done things like twisted your ends in Fair Isle knitting or Armenian knitting, or even some intarsia work, you'll recognize this technique because it's very similar. What I do is I'm going to use a contrasting color here just so that it's easier to see what's happening, but let's just pretend that I've run out of one skein and I need to add in my next skein, and I take what will be my next working yarn and I just lay it over the right-handed needle like that, nice and loose. And I take the yarn that I'm running out of and I make one more stitch with this yarn laying just like this. That allows me to trap it between the previous stitch and the next stitch with the horizontal bar I just made. To get everything else out of the way, see if you can see that. So this little blue end is trapped in that horizontal bar. Okay, put you out of the way. Now I'm going to trap in my red yarn while stitching with the new blue. The first stitch is just a regular knit, and every other stitch will be just a regular knit. There you go. That's easy enough, right? Right. Now the next time you make the next stitch, push through. Pause for a minute. Take the end that you're trapping, pull it up and over the right needle tip, up and over from the right side to the left side so it crosses like this. Then take your working yarn, wrap your right tip just as normal, pause again, take the end that you're trapping and push it up and out of the way, and then finish your knit stitch as normal. And that traps the tail that we are working on trapping in the horizontal bar that you just made. Every other knit stitch is just normal, just knit. So I had a regular knit here, trapped here, and a regular knit. Now I'm ready for another trap. Push through. Take the trappy yarn over the right tip from right to left. Your working yarn. Wrap your right tipped needle. Take the trapped yarn, push it up out of the way, and then finish your knit stitch. A regular stitch, a trapping stitch, regular trapping, so I need one more regular, and let's do one more trap. Push through the trappy yarn over the right tip, your working yarn, take the trappy yarn, push it up out of the way, and finish that stitch off. And another regular knit. And since I only have one more stitch here, I'm going to make it a regular one. Like so. On the back, it's almost invisible. Here's the trapped yarn. And of course it started here at the last red stitch. And my red end went over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Just like if you had worked it in on the reverse stockinette stitch with a tapestry needle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trap the blue end next. But I want to trap it when I'm working a knit side. So I'll purl this row, And when I finish up, turn around, knit, and as I knit back the next time, trap this end. So let me work all these purls, and when I get to the end of this row, here I am at the end of this purl row. One more, two. Now, as I knit back, I'm going to catch this blue end. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to make 5 knit stitches, and then we will work in that blue end. Here's my working yarn. Never knit with your tail. Tell all my students that. And you know what? I end up knitting with my tail at least half the time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we are ready to start trapping the blue. Push in. Take your trappy yarn up and over the right tip. Wrap the right tip with your working yarn. Take the trapped yarn and push it out of the way. Finish your knit stitch. That's a trap stitch, so the next stitch is just regular. Ta-da! And this is a trapping stitch. Up and over the right tip, wrap with the working yarn, push our trap yarn out of the way, and finish it. And then a regular knit stitch. And one more trap, I think, because we don't have much of it left. Up and over the right tip, wrap the working yarn, push the trap yarn out of the way, and finish. Okay, let me finish this little row, and then we'll turn around and look at the back side again. Come here, you. There we go. Blue end, red end. And they're nice and trapped. You didn't have to sew them in. Here's what I do. Now this is just a personal preference. When I clip them, I don't clip them right at the base, not yet. Like that. There's a little tail poking out. And this one. And a little tail poking out. And I leave it like that until I've blocked. Once I've blocked and everything has stretched and set, and I've set the shape and all the stitches have stretched as much as they're going to, and the knitting is in the shape that I want it to be, and these tails are nice and settled, then I go through and clip them right at the base. But until then, I just leave them like this. That's short enough that they're not in my way. Okay. So I hope you like that. I hope you find it useful. If you've got a project with a lot of ends, let me tell you, it can save you a lot of time if you just trap them as you go. So enjoy that one. Till next Sunday.